Hey guys, welcome back to the Community Cares Podcast. I'm Dave. I'm the Executive Director here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet.
And I'm Chaplain Chaz Blackburn. I have the honor of being the president of Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, and we have a really special guest on today, truly. I actually grew up with Mike, and Mike, what's the weather going to be today?
I don't care. I just don't care. I'm retired from that, but thanks for asking.
Well, I'll let you introduce yourself, but you had an amazing career, and you do so much for the community. Everything. Even recently, you helped facilitate City Fest, Louis Palau tour, and you've always, ever since I was a kid, you were always approachable and always gave back. So please feel free to introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Chaz, and it's good to see you too. I don't think I've seen you since you're about yay tall or whatever.
Gray hairs in my beard.
Oh boy, I'll tell you. Speaking of gray hairs, well, I'm Mike Alger. I used to be somebody, as I say now, and retired meteorologist from KTVN Channel 2, and been retired now, coming up almost on 2 years.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Wow. Thank you so much for being here, Mike.
Sure.
We really appreciate it. We're going to dive into our sponsorship segment before we really get into the meat of the episode. So our first sponsor we're going to shout out today is Shelley's Hardware. Shelley's Hardware, if you need that bolts or if you need that lawnmower because your grass is growing just a little bit too much this year, make sure to get a new lawnmower and get it at Shelley's Hardware. They know their lawnmowers, their bolts, they know all sorts of things because they are with these things all the time, and they're local and they care about the local Reno climate and they know what's going on. So I know for me personally, I've gone in there and asked them specific questions about, hey, should I plant my flowers now or should I wait till next week? And they have straight up said, no, wait till next week. The snow's not off of Peavine yet. So, and that's something that a lot of people used to say.
Well, we've had some winters where the snow was off Peavine in January. I don't know that I'd recommend planting at that point, but yeah, that's the old saying. Certainly,
You're
that's
speaking
right.
his language.
So definitely, if you need that bolt or if you need that lawnmower, definitely check out Shelley's Hardware. They're small and local, and they care about the community. Spherion, are you a local business in Reno searching for top talent or an individual looking for your next great career opportunity? Look no further than Spherion Staffing. As the local experts in recruitment, Spherion understands the unique needs of the Northern Nevada job market. They connect qualified candidates with leading companies, ensuring the right fit every time. Whether you need administrative support, light industrial staff, or professional hires, Spherion takes the stress out of staffing. Call or text Spherion today to find out more at 775-829-8367. Isn't that crazy? You can text them.
That is so cool. I need a job.
Yeah, I need a job.
That's awesome.
What are your qualifications, Chess?
I'll show up.
that's half the battle right now these days.
It is. Yeah. No offense. Just I noticed some of the younger generations. It's not like when I was growing up. People showed up on time. It's just seriously. We opened up the hospice guest house, and we have trouble with caregivers even showing up for interviews. We'll have 20 respond, and maybe 5 will show up for the interview. And it's a weird, strange time we're living in.
It is. It is for sure. I haven't had a job interview in 40 years, so I don't know about that, but
oh man.
So I haven't done it recently, but what I used to do all the time, especially when I got really mad at my job, is I would just apply for a bunch of jobs and go to job interviews just to test myself. Like, do I still have the wit to be able to interview with people? Do I still have the thought process to be able to get in the middle of something and just say the thing I need to say? But honestly, to be frank with you, since we've done the podcast has forced me to do that.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's forced me to I need to have quick thinking. I need to be able to ask the guest very specifically what I need to ask them so the show's interesting. Because if we don't do that, the show's not interesting and people don't listen.
Sure.
That's the reality. And so it's important to really have those things going, to have those side things going, to making sure that we are as chiseled. I don't know. What word would you use, Chaz?
Like sharp in your critical thinking.
Here we go. I like
honed.
That. Honed. Oh, that's a good one too.
Ooh.
Well, I'm a professional. So.
Well, speaking of being a professional, sir.
Yeah.
I would love to find out more about you today.
Okay.
What is the history of Mike Alger here in Reno Sparks?
Oh, God. Well, here in Reno Sparks, it's actually been over half my life. I tell my story. I always start off, I was born at a very early age and grew up in the Pacific Northwest. Grew up and spent probably my formative years there. Went to college in Eastern Washington at a little liberal arts school called Whitman College in Walla Walla, Washington. Got degrees in geology and chemistry, and I was a petroleum geologist for 7 years after graduating from college. Worked mainly, most of that time, worked in Portland, Oregon at a little small independent oil and gas company called Reichhold Energy. And in the mid-'80s, when the oil and gas business was sort of falling apart, our parent company decided they didn't want to be in the oil and gas business anymore, so they sold us to our chief competitor, which at that time was Arco, and we were competing with them up in northwestern Oregon, looking for natural gas. So I was kind of looking for a change at that point. I mean, I enjoyed geology. I went to Australia for a few weeks looking at some possibilities, Australia and New Zealand work possibilities over there. Decided I wanted to stay in the States, and I did some consulting work back here in the States. And while I was just sort of knocking around doing that, I ended up getting on a locally produced game show in Portland called On the Spot. And in fact, it was really funny. I literally, in the last few months, just dug up the old VHS tapes from
What are
that.
those? No.
Oh my gosh, I was young at that point. You know, young and skinny and handsome, all those things that I just don't have anymore. And it was a way for me to kind of get an idea of what goes on both sides of the camera. And I was kind of fascinated by it, and being the sort of person that I was, I just went and talked to people about it. Is this something you have to start when you're 15, or could an old man of 28, I think is what I was at the time, get into this? And they encouraged me to move forward, and I talked my way into an internship at the CBS affiliate in Portland, just to sort of learn the business a little bit. And I knew I wanted to go into the meteorology part of it because of my background. Geology and chemistry are great science anchors and foundations for meteorology. Although I started out in sports of all things, and my first job in the Tri-Cities in Eastern Washington, but then came to Reno in 1988, doing weekend weather over at Channel 8. Actually, it was my first job here. That's what brought me to town. And it was really funny. My dear wife, who had kind of followed me on this journey and sort of pulled up roots in Portland, and we moved to the Tri-Cities, and then a year and a half later I pulled up roots again and I drug her to Reno, and it was really funny because we were praying about where we're going to go next after the Tri-Cities. And I said, God, we'll go anywhere you say, anywhere you say.
Careful
And
what you pray.
well, that's it. And all of a sudden, this Reno opportunity came up, and I go, no, seriously, God. I mean, we'll go anywhere you want. I mean, what good can come out of Reno?
Oh, amen to that.
And but at any rate, I came and interviewed and got the job, and so pulled up roots. And at that point, the process in the broadcast industry is that you start in small markets, and my first market was a very small market, and you work your way up progressively to larger markets until, either you get to the national or one of the, top 20 markets. And I thought we wanted to go back to Portland or Seattle eventually, and after I got maybe good enough, if I ever did. And, a funny thing happened on that. I was here for a little over a year. Was not making much money at all. We just had our first child.
Oh, no.
And I got a job offer in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is a bigger market, a significant pay boost from what I was getting here. And it just seemed to make so much sense to go there, work there a few years, go to the bigger market, and finally catch that gold ring of where it was. And a funny thing happened is that as I went through the process, and Anita, we'd found a good church here, and sort of made some connections, and my wife had gotten into, formed a musical group. She's a very good musician, and I started looking at her and looking at our situation, and I found I started to make excuses not to go. And when I realized I was looking for excuses not to go, I decided that was a pretty darn good excuse not to go. It was. I think it was just God saying, "No, Michael, we have you here for a reason,
Amen.
and we want you to stay." And so, out of in defiance of all logic, career logic, certainly, I turned down the job in Albuquerque, and I actually very quickly after that got hired over at Channel 2. It just seemed to be a little better fit. It wasn't for much more money or anything, but it's a decision that I have never had second thoughts about, and had a wonderful life here, and my career. I'm sure I'm. Well, I don't know that I'm sure, but I'm probably significantly poorer than I would have been if I'd pursued that higher market thing. But we're rich in so many other things, and we just fell in love with this community and decided this is where we want to make our home.
And I can't tell you how many times I hear a similar story to what you just shared. This community is very unique, and the island atmosphere here being that we have mountains all around us. There's not a lot of big cities around here.
No.
Not a lot of big markets around here, right?
Yeah.
So it forces a lot of the good and the bad, maybe sometimes, of the community to really collaborate and come together.
Yeah.
Now, there are people that don't like to collaborate, of course. There's always bad actors in those kinds of realms, right? In whatever you do. But I think you are proof of one of the good things about this community and wanting to collaborate with people, because without the community here, you wouldn't. I don't know, but it seems like, based on your story, you wouldn't be drawn to this area as much.
And again, I don't even know that I could have told you exactly why back then that we made that decision, except that we felt like we were supposed to be here. And as it turned out, in hindsight, especially in a broadcast career, if I'd gone and gotten to Seattle or something like that, and I would have, if I was working the same schedule, I'd be gone at just about time the kids are getting ready to come back from school, and I'd be getting back home around midnight. I'd never see them. I mean, here I could drive home between the 6:30 and the 11 o'clock show and have dinner and put my kids to bed and read them a story at night and have that relationship, and that's priceless. And I don't think I could have had that had I followed that. And so God knew what he was doing, at least in our life.
He does. I don't know if you know, but I work in hospice, and I will tell you that I've never heard somebody say, I wish I had gotten that job promotion on their deathbed, or I wish I had made more money. It's always the small things become the big things. I wish I had pushed my daughter on the swing more. I wish I went to those sports games more, or ate dinner with my family more. And
I wish I picked on Chaz more.
You do that enough.
But that's what I want to do more.
Oh, you're so sweet.
He's just hoping for no regrets, obviously. No, yeah.
Oh, man. Thanks, brother.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it really is that. And there is so much more to life than what the world tells you is attractive. And I mean, Jesus said that so many different ways and so many different times, that seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things that you need shall be added to you. I mean, I know you need food, I know you need clothing, all of those other things. Don't pursue those. Just trust in me, and the things you need will be provided.
I think that's a good thought. Chaz, I interrupted you for a joke. Would you like to finish that thought, or are you good?
No, we finished it. Thank you.
Wow. All right. Well, now I feel bad.
On my deathbed, I'll regret not finishing my thought. Thanks,
there you
buddy.
go.
Now I remember what I was going to tell Dave. Well, I think that's really important to know. Like, there are so many more things in life than the physical needs, and which is why I really value what we do here at Good Shepherd, is because we are filling that physical need so people can focus on their families or other things, right? So, because everything in our store is completely free, so we have families and individuals coming in here that have nothing that are able to get something.
Yeah.
And so it helps with that barrier of life, right? It helps with that cost, that struggle, that health concern of being cold in the middle of the night because you don't have a blanket, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I'm glad to hear that you choose family over fame, success, and fortunes, right?
Well, definitely fortune, yeah.
and that inspires me to want to do the same thing, right? So thank you for that. And it's that constant reminder that Jesus is the centerpiece, that Jesus's teachings is what we should be following to be able to live the life that we all so much desire in our heart to live, because we want to live the right life.
Right.
That's common in all of us. But what does that mean, And so, and I think the first spot to gravitate towards that we should be seeking is loving and caring for and spending time with our families.
Oh, absolutely. And Chaz, I think you put it perfectly, is that, everybody is going to have an end of life. Yeah. Everybody, whether it happens suddenly or whether for so many it happens over a period of time where you have that time to reflect on things. I mean, even now, there are things I regret not doing enough with my kids. I wish I'd wrestled with them more when they were 3-4 years old. I wish I'd, all these other things, and you can't go through your life having those regrets. But if you early on decide what really is important, it's not going to be money. I know some very wealthy people, and the most important thing to those that are happy who are wealthy, and there are some who aren't, it's not their wealth. Their hope isn't there. It's it's in their soul. It's what is happening in your soul, because you can't buy those things.
Well, definitely for me, the relationship with Jesus, I mean, that's number one, but also family, of course, but also giving back and just loving on others. They can never repay you. That's how God designed us, was to love and to give. And He knows when He says to be generous in the Bible, it's for our own good, So, I really respect that you chose that path, and I think that that's going to be a really big blessing for whatever time remains, which I'm sure is a long time.
Thanks.
No, just kidding.
Thanks for that.
Oh my God.
We never know. I could go tomorrow. None of us are getting out of this alive.
I think your odds are better than mine.
Yes. I don't know. I've seen the way he eats.
I've turned the curve. I'm trying to eat healthy.
I struck a chord. You see that?
That's
see
funny.
that?
Yeah,
That's my job. That's my job.
He's a vegetarian. That's why I say that.
Well, yeah, us vegetarians tend to strike chords.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Shall we get a hot dog after this?
Yeah, you're fun. I watched this whole video.
Well, I've thought about being vegan or vegetarian, and I thought, well, you could live longer, and then I thought, well, but who'd want to? So
that's
that
good.
point. So
that's good.
One.
Yeah.
I really value being able to have these kinds of conversations where we're kind of reminding ourselves what's actually important in life.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of our listeners listen to that podcast because Chaz and I are sappy and we talk about that kind of stuff a lot on the show. And so if people wanted to know what really inspires you to do what you do, I think, or what you've done, or maybe what your goals are going to be, what's that inspiration piece for you?
I think probably what it is in a nutshell is that I don't think anybody is more miserable than when the world revolves around them.
Amen.
And I think that service is, whether it's in your church, whether it's in volunteer organizations, whether the volunteers you have here at the Good Shepherd Clothing Closet and all that, when your focus is outward as opposed to inward, you're never thinking about how miserable you are, or you're never thinking about your own shortcomings. You're never thinking about the ways that you should be better and all that. And instead, if you can bring a little bit of joy to somebody else, whether it's in just something you say, or if it's in something you give, or it's something you provide, if it's fulfilling a need, I just think you're I just think you're happier. I think that's the way God designed us, and so much of the world has gotten away from that. I think truth, that basic truth, is that if all you do is think of yourself, by definition, you're self-centered, and I don't think anybody wants to be self-centered.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've found that in. Like I say, in churches that I go to, I encourage people to serve, because it's only in that you can really be fed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a little dichotomy that, I mean, the more you give, you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's true. The more you give, you get. And I do agree with you. Most people want to appear less self-centered. I do agree with that part of what you're saying, but I think what I would push back on a little bit is I think everyone is self-centered, and I think truly, like, I've never met someone who's not.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that.
And so, because I believe all sin, the root of all sin, is pride.
Sure.
And so I think it's natural. Our natural inclination is to worship ourselves.
Absolutely. Sure.
To put things on ourselves, to say, I deserve this, I deserve that. Oh, it's not you, it's not my fault, it's your fault. It's that whole mindset of selfishness. And so I think there is something that pushes against us, whether it's shame publicly or other things that kind of gets us away from it. And in the Christian world, it's obviously God, and what God calls us to do is
right.
serve the sick and poor, to serve the orphan and widow in distress, right? So we're called to do the better things, but I think it's almost I know because I've seen it time and time again here. Pride is something we'll always battle till death.
Well, and that's, I mean, if we didn't have that shortcoming, we wouldn't need Jesus. And I mean, you're absolutely right. Everybody, I mean, I'm naturally self-centered. I mean, I look at any situation, and there's a true there, but for the grace of God go I in all these things. I've just found that when I allow myself to fall into the self-centeredness, that's when I'm the most miserable.
Amen.
That's when I'm the most miserable.
I'm with you.
And I think part of Jesus' coming is that, left to our own designs, we ruin ourselves, and we may think we're pursuing attractive things and all that, but the end of that road is misery.
Yeah.
And so everything I can do to, I guess, change that mindset or whatever. And it's not a, it's not a sense of, hey, I'm better than other people or whatever. It has nothing to do with that at all. It's, I mean, I want to find peace, and Jesus offers that, and that's one of the pathways that he can take us to that.
That's an interesting point. I'd love to explore a little bit. What brings you peace, Mike?
Being on this podcast. No, just kidding.
This is the second time. I just want to let you guys know. This poor man.
Tell the story. It's awesome.
Sat through half a show.
It was a great show too. You should have seen it.
We've never had that happen.
Yeah.
In the middle of the show, we were like 11 minutes in, 15 minutes in, and all the lights went out, and everyone's looking at me. I'm like, I don't know.
What button did you hit? Yeah.
And this poor man came back for round two.
No, it's great.
I got back from Oregon. I was on vacation, and I said, Dave, well, how was it with Mike Alger? And he said, it was great. I said, well, where's the show? He said, well, the power went out. I was like, what? Are you serious?
Poor guy. Yeah. Thank you for.
It was hard to find our way out of the building. Actually, we're in the little podcast room here. We're in a light on. I mean, it was sort of, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Get the phones out so we can see.
All right. We were talking about peace.
Where was it? Well, that's right.
Peace.
What brings me peace? What brings me peace is, again, getting out of my own way, and dying to self, because myself is not a great guy.
True of us all.
Just not a great guy. And I think of the need that we all have for Christ, and I think when I can focus outward, when I can give, when I can be of any use, what little it may be here and there, I think that brings me peace. And it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are right now. And it doesn't matter what your life has been like or whatever. The hope that Jesus brings can happen in the to the workers who are hired at the first hour, and those that come in at half hour before quitting time. And
It's all up to God.
And it's the thing is that we're all so short of qualifying for salvation. That it is a gift, and anytime we think that, I've qualified. Well, no, you haven't. Christ is qualified, and He's our only hope for that, and that's what I think gives me peace.
That's good. So, future and vision. What do you got going on? Do you got anything in the percolator?
Well, I'm teaching at UNR. I'm teaching at the university. Awesome. Just one class a week, 3-hour class, a broadcast meteorology class.
That's pretty cool.
Of all things.
Are you qualified for that?
I don't know. I haven't asked. I'm not pushing that. And no, I'm just glad they let me do it without a PhD or whatever. So I'm doing that. Awesome. My wife is getting ready to retire in 1 year.
Oh.
So, I'm a kept man now. I mean, I got my sugar mama working right now. And when that occurs, we're going to spend a lot of time on the road, and we've just bought a camper. And
fun!
Going to do
awesome.
Kind of do that, wow. Do that thing. Do that until we can't stand each other, I suppose. But we're really looking forward to that. So teaching, I'm recording and producing audiobooks.
Cool.
And putting a little more time into that. I've been doing that for about 10 years, but have more time to do that now. More time to spend on that, and then just kind of seeing where God's going to lead me. We're kind of a post City Fest charge of ours and interest is in just trying to see with all the churches coming together for City Fest last summer, that how can we maintain and carry on some of that momentum? And we're forming a group called One Vision that essentially is trying to keep some of that unity in the church body around here going, and finding ways that we can serve this community. We're interviewing anything from the sheriff's office to teachers to news people to whatever, just to find out where's the biggest need around here. Because we've got such an amazing possibility of workers and volunteers in the church community, that let's try to organize that and try to put that together into something.
It's just a small task.
Yeah.
Bringing all the churches together. But we
exactly.
do have an amazing community. We have amazing bodies of Christ and churches. And I will say, it was so invigorating to see so many churches come together for City Fest.
Yeah.
That was so powerful to see it be one family. And I remember, funny story is you helped facilitate that. And I'd been helping with the chaplain corps. And I went up to the front because my buddy was doing security, and he let my daughter Lily sit behind the barrier.
Right.
And I'll never forget, I looked over and I saw you sitting there, and you were just looking up, and it reminded me of all the churches coming together, and just like that unity is so important, and what a beautiful moment that was. And I wish we could have that ongoing.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it is, I mean, if a church is preaching the gospel, then we have unity. We all have that unity. But I think it's more in terms from a practical standpoint of, if one church has 100 chairs in the attic and another church needs 100 chairs, facilitating getting that together so they can help each other out, or if there are different needs in the community. I mean, we can be insular
Yes.
as a church, as individual church bodies. We tend to get involved in our own things, and it's not bad. It's just kind of nature to do that. And if there's a way that we can just sort of help us keep our eyes open for opportunities to be the hands and feet of Christ.
And meeting together and serving together is really different. The Great Basin Chaplain Corps has 70 licensed chaplains now, and we're growing and growing and growing because there's such a huge need. But what I love is there's over 20 churches, recognized there of people servicing the community, and it's kind of like what you're talking about. When you're in the trenches together, it's very special.
Awesome. Chaz, as we close out this episode, do you have any final thoughts today?
Just our cliche saying, be the change you want to see in the world. And thank you for being that change, Mike.
Oh, well, I'm not the change. I'm in the first City Fest, which was really Luis Palau Festival back in 2004.
I was there. I remember that.
Yeah. 2004, I got to know Luis, and he was such an amazing man, and just he had this gift that made everybody feel like he's known him all his life. And I just remember mentioning to him once, and my mind tends to shoot things out before it really goes through the processing part of it. But I said something to the effect of, Luis, I think of that donkey that carried Jesus in on Palm Sunday, and how nobody knew the donkey, nobody knew his name. I mean, but how cool would it have been just to be able to be that donkey? So I just want to be a jackass for Christ.
I love it.
Luis and then as soon as I said it, I go, "Oh my God, what have I done?" I can't believe I said that. He started laughing and then he started using that in all of his talks after that, and I'm just kind of shrinking in the
hilarious.
background. But that's it. I mean, I'm a donkey.
A weatherman once told me.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we're all donkeys, but
that's
God
for sure.
can use that for amazing things.
Amen.
That's great. I love it. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for just sharing with us your story. Is there anywhere people can find out more about you, or maybe a place to buy your book or other things like that?
Well, it's funny. I've just republished the book that I wrote, Snowstorm, which was about almost 25 years ago it was published.
Wow.
And there's been some interest in bringing it back. So I just republished it, and it's on Amazon, and it's on audiobook as well, if you'd like. But if you just look me up on Amazon, you can find Snowstorm, which is the name of it. And you can get it in paperback, hardback, or audiobook. So that's kind of fun. I'm still, 25 years ago, I started writing a second one and all that, and then got involved in too many other things. So I guess maybe now that I'm retired, maybe I'll get to work on that at some point if I can overcome inertia. But in order to, find out about me, hopefully not in the police blotters, and I don't have a website or anything, but I think I'm enjoying a little bit more anonymity than I had before, and that's
awesome.
never a bad thing.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
So his cell phone is...
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
My address and social security number. So.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
If you guys are inspired by any of this, definitely pick up his book, Snowstorm. Mike Alger, great guy, been a pillar in our community for a long time.
Yes.
So, and cares a lot about the community too. So it's one thing to be a public figure. It's another thing to care about the people in need. If you want to find out more about Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, please visit getclothes.org. We give away a lot of clothes to people in need. If you want to give clothing, if you want to give financially, if you want to volunteer and give your time, those are all definite positive ways you can affect the community. We are a small nonprofit organization that cares a lot about those people that come through our doors.
And let me jump in and take over on that a little bit, and just put a plug in for what you guys are doing. My wife was in the PTA when my kids were elementary school, and they would do a clothes drive, and they had to figure out, okay, how are we going to distribute these? And they did it through the Good Shepherd's
Oh, wow.
Clothes Closet. 25 30 years ago or whatever. I can't remember exactly how long it is. And I want to thank you guys for what you guys are doing. I know you're all getting rich doing this, and but this is such a great organization, and I encourage people to support it with clothes, with all that extra cash you have hiding out in the seat cushions and that sort of thing. I mean, it's a great organization.
Well, thank you. And yeah, truly it is individuals that keep this organization going. Really is. Those that donate $20, $5, $1 a month, whatever it is that they want to and feel called to and led to give. That's what keeps our lights on.
It all
really
makes
does.
a difference.
So thank you guys so much for supporting us and watching the show. Please share, like, and subscribe. We help 800 people a month. No matter what, we're asking you to come alongside and help one. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.